In high school, I was relatively lean, probably a little bit overweight, and I played high school and lacrosse. I played lacrosse and hockey in high school. And then I went to college and gained the freshman 15 times 2. So I probably put on about 30 pounds in the first year. And then I started lifting weights in college, and I started trying to do the eat less, move more. So I would exercise a lot, just try to cut my calories, and it wasn't really working that well. And then one of my friends said, have you tried the Atkins diet? It works pretty well. And I said, isn't that going to give you a heart attack? That was my thought at the time. And so I went on an Atkins diet anyway, and the weight pretty much dropped off effortlessly. It sounds like an infomercial that it just essentially melted off after a few months, as far as like the 30 pounds go. And I was very curious about it because I thought, how the hell is this possible? I felt like I was eating actually more. I was exercising a lot, but I was also eating more than I used to be, as far as just trying to cut calories and lose weight. And that's when I picked up an Atkins diet book, went through the references, sort of got obsessed with the nutrition, and then I followed a low carbohydrate diet for, I'd say, about 10 to 15 years on or off, but a lot of carbohydrate restriction. And then in the past few years, the diet that I eat now, I don't get any of my calories from sugar, and I eat about 200 grams of protein, about 200 grams of carbohydrates, which is a lot of carbohydrates for me, and the rest is fat that fills in the rest too as well. My body used to scream for soda, cookies, crackers, etc. If I listened to my body, I would probably be 300 pounds. So similar with smoking, if you just listen to your body, I would say I'd probably be smoking 2 packs a day.
Whereas do you feel like you miss either of those things anymore?
It's interesting. Actually, no, I don't feel like I don't miss smoking, and I don't miss sugar. And it took a very long time, and I do feel like if I was sitting down with my former self in both cases, like in the thick of it, as far as smoking or consuming vast amounts of ho-hos and Mountain Dews in high school and things like that, my former self wouldn't believe me. They would just think like, oh, you're a performance artist. You're doing an interview and you're just saying that because you want people to be healthy. But it's actually true. It's like an addiction where it takes a lot of time to get over it. And I think sugar is probably worse because...
Worse than cigarettes.
It's probably worse than cigarettes in that with cigarettes, if you go to the doctor and the doctor sees that you have like COPD or emphysema or they know that you're a chronic smoker and that you're having trouble breathing, they will say, you need to quit smoking, or they'll try to figure out some way. They're not going to say, you know what, everything in moderation. So I know you're smoking 3 packs of cigarettes right now. Just smoke 2 packs of cigarettes, because if you lower your smoking by 20 cigarettes a day, you're actually going to improve your health
that would be outrageous.
by that much.
Right.
People wouldn't say smoke in moderation. But with diet, they say everything in moderation. So they say, just have a soda. Don't have 3 sodas. Have a cookie. Don't have 3 cookies. But that same drive for those people, they want to have 3 cookies, and it's actually torture to have half a cookie, at least from my experience. It's like having 1 cigarette and being a pack-a-day smoker. It's probably better to renounce them entirely rather than to moderate them.
Well, nobody wants to hear that.
Nobody wants to hear that, but I would also say that, like with moderation, I feel like it's sort of like it's kind of a puritanical thing. It's like, why can't you eat in moderation like I can? And it becomes a behavioral thing. And that's part of the issue with calories in, calories out, is when you talk about it's just a matter of taking in less calories than you expend, it becomes a behavioral issue. You've turned a disorder of excess fat accumulation into, let's take a look at the psychology textbook. Let's take a look at the physics textbook as far as the thermodynamics. Rather than let's look at the biology, where if you were a doctor or you're in med school, every other disease, pretty much, that I know of, you would look in a biochemistry textbook, an endocrinology textbook, a physiology textbook. You wouldn't look in a psychology or a physics. They don't go to physics as far as looking at a disease, except for obesity. And if it's vertical growth, if it's somebody who grows too tall, they're obviously taking in more calories than they expend, even though that doesn't sound apparent to anybody, but they're taking in more energy. That's why they're growing, according to people who think that it's all about calories in, calories out. But if you went to a doctor and they told you to eat less, move more because you're 8 feet tall, again, that would be ridiculous.
Right.
They would locate the tumor in your pituitary and say you're secreting too much growth hormone. When it's obesity, it's eat less, move more. Where I would say you need to locate the issue, which is probably you're insulin resistant, hyperinsulinemic, and you need to deal with the quality of the diet.